Hello and welcome to a very special behind the scenes look of how Rejects Season 2 was made with Behind the Apocalypse. I'm Andrew Georgiadis, Dr. Andrew Georgiadis, and I'm about to show you how a project that I started about 4 years ago and how I finally finished it has been put together. So I'm going to start with talking about the cameras. I use a HD Sony Handycam, which has a 4-hour battery and a 128GB SD card, which can last for 12 hours. But the special feature here are the lenses that use optical stabilization, which means you can shake the camera, and because they're independent of the body, it acts like a Steadicam. But that's not the only camera that's used. I've also been using GoPros. This is a slightly older model, but this is the ones that we're using at the time. And as you can see, they take little SD cards as well. Now the difference between the main camera using 128GB SD card that looks like that, while the GoPros use 120GB micro SD cards. Now you can just see the comparison in size is very different. So this one, I would normally just plug it into the side of the computer, while this one, before you can use it, you first need to use an adapter. You have to plug it in into there, and now I can plug that in to the computer. So I can plug in the SD card into the SD card slot onto the laptop. However, if you don't have an SD card slot on your laptop, you can plug it into a memory card reader and just plug it in with wherever the connection is. This will then be recognized by the computer and mount the card. And once that's done, you can begin ingesting your footage, which means you copy all the footage from the memory card onto the computer. Just make sure you have enough storage space. I've got 60 terabytes here. And then you're ready to start editing. So let me show you some ingesting. Now, before I talk about that, we need to ingest into a particular editing program. And the program that I particularly use is Final Cut 10. Why? Because it has some very special features that I use for my films and videos. And it's all to do with multicam editing. It makes my life very, very easy. And also media management is really good with it. So let's dive in and take a look. So as you can see here, we've got Final Cut 10. And I've got the first episode of Rejects Season 2 open up on here. So you can see the viewer, this is the timeline, and this shows you a preview of your clips. Now, how do you actually ingest clips into this? Well, let's take a look. You've got a little button up here. You click on this and a little ingest window appears. Your memory card will appear in here somewhere. Once that's clicked, it will show you a list of all the clips that you want to ingest. But what's really good about Final Cut is you've got a choice of either copying your files directly into the project, or you can just leave them where they are, which is good. But for media management, this is amazing. It can create optimized media for you, which is ProRes 422, which is really good for editing. And it can also create proxy media. Now, what's that? Well, imagine you've got a room full of cameras. Imagine like one of the scare room films that I've done. I might have like 8, 9, 10 cameras. You don't want to be editing all of those cameras at the same time in HD. It would be too much for the computer to handle. So what you can do is create a proxy file, which this does automatically for you, and it just allows you to edit using the lower quality file. You can still view it and everything. It's a lot less data and much easier to edit. And then once you've finished, you can just swap back to the full quality media and your editing is done, which is really great. So that's the ingesting part. So what I would do is select the clips that I would want, and then I'll click import all. In this particular case with Rejects, I've actually avoided creating proxies or optimized media. I'm just using the clips as they are in their native format because it saves me space and time, which is great. So I'm quite happy with that. So once those have been ingested, what you would get is a bunch of clips. Now, normally, the clips would be, say, clip 1, clip 2, clip 3, clip 4. So, the first step is to actually rename those clips. I do that with using my own naming convention, which is great. So, I would highlight, let's say, all the ones that I knew are to do with the head cam, for example. I'll grab all of those. Now, under this information block, you've got this thing here called Apply Custom Name. I can click on here, click on, say, a preset, and now I can actually name it exactly how I want. So in this case, I would be something like Rejects main cam, for example, or head cam. And then you can put a counter so that each clip would be Rejects main cam 1, Rejects main cam 2, things like that. Then you click OK, and it will actually rename all of these files. And this, as you can see, this is what I've done with all of these. So I've named all the head cams like that, all the commando cams, the head cam of one of the players. This is my main camera. So just with a simple click, using this Apply Custom Name, I'm able to rename everything really. And this is really, really good because using this naming convention, I can tell which show it belongs to, which episode, which camera it is, and which clip of that camera. So now we're going to start doing a little bit of magic. What I want to do before I create a multicam clip is I want to tell Final Cut which clips belong to which camera angle, and you can do that. So if I highlight all of the clips to do with the main cam, and now still under this information tab, you can see here camera angle and camera name. I've put 1 in each of those, and I'll just press return. So now it knows that all of these clips are associated with camera angle 1. I do the same with my head cam. Highlight all of those and then name them camera angle 2. Okay, so you do that for all of them. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 in this case, 4 cameras. And once I've done all of that, I can highlight all of the clips. Highlight all of them. And then you do right click, new multicam clip. And what that does, it's going to combine all of the clips together, and it knows which ones are associated with which angles, and it matches them. It's going to sync them all up. But how does it do it? I don't have time code or anything like that. What it's doing is it's going to use audio to sync it. So it looks at the audio waveforms of each of the video clips, and it tries to figure out which ones are happening at the same time. And because it knows which angles, it knows, say, let's say 4 different tracks, it will match all the clips up, and it works really well. So all I would have to do is just name it, and say Rejects multi-clip 1, and then click OK. And what that will do is create the clip. It will take a little bit of time because it has to do all the processing. And once it's done, you'll end up with a multicam clip. And what's really cool is that you can just drag that down into your timeline. So I'm going to show you what you can do with a multicam clip once you put it in your timeline. First of all, let's hide this and hide this. We don't need those anymore for the moment anyway. You can see you've got your clip. The multicam is already on the timeline. I'm going to change here. I'm going to do show angles. Now look, I can see all 4 angles at the same time. Okay, so over here I've got the main camera, which is the handy cam. I've got the GoPro on my head, there's a GoPro on someone else's head, and then this one is my back, camera on my back, believe it or not. It's good, it's like a zombie chase cam. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just press play, and you can see the video is playing. Now, all you would need to do, you can see actually down here, there's cuts that have been made. And all I've had to do to make those cuts is click on here. Now here you can do a cut using video and audio, a cut using video, or cut just using audio. I use audio from Camera One, and I just cut the pictures. So I've got that one highlighted. So when you're clicking through, look, That's this one. There's this one. Camera 1 again. Camera 4. Camera 1. Camera 3. Now if I wanted to go and make a change, let's say this camera here, let's say I want to change it to this one, or just do that, click there. So now if I play on that one, boom, you can see it's just changed. Let's undo that because I don't want to keep that. So that's how multicam editing works. Now if there was too much for this to handle, this is where you want to start using your proxies. And under here you can actually choose, you just click on proxy here and it will start, you don't have to do anything else. It will just start using the lower quality videos. Start editing. This is good. I've had to do this in my scare videos when lots and lots of cameras. Just click that. No problems editing. And once the video is finished, just click back to optimize and then export. So how do we actually export? Once the video is done, I would click on here. I would just do a master file. You can see this is the video. This is the size of it. I would click next. It would just say, where do you want to save it? Boom. Click save. It will export it. And we're all done. Or are we? Well, yeah, we are. I then use Compressor, which is a really good tool, and I would convert the video. I will drag the file. I'll drag episode 1 into here. I've got a YouTube preset, which will create the right size and everything. And then I click Start Match, and it will just convert everything for me. And then just upload that video to YouTube. Job done. Well, there you go. I hope you found that interesting and informative, and I hope you enjoy the series, which is out now. Oh, and by the way, I've had to go through the exact same process editing this behind the scenes. Whoa, it's like some sort of inception. Until next time, I'm Andrew Georgiadis. Goodbye.